The Platinum X DF series of power supplies from Enermax featured patented dust-free rotation fan technology and a DF switch for users to activate DFR anytime during operation. Units range up to 1200 watts with an 80+ platinum rating while maintaining a compact length of just 160 millimeters, and new sleeved cables give your build an extra clean look right out of the box. Click the link in the description below to learn more. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm pretty excited because we're going to be taking a look and upgrading my very first HTPC or home theater PC that I built 5 years ago, back in 2013. Since then, it's had a couple upgrades along the way. About 2 years ago, I upgraded the GPU and the storage, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But what happened a couple months ago was that I actually built a second home theater PC that was very high-end. You guys can go ahead and check out that two-part series when you have a chance. It's pretty insane. So I really didn't have any need for a second HTPC at that point, and since then this has kind of just been collecting dust in my old office back at home. So I decided that for this video I would go about actually upgrading this from old HTPC to mid-range 1080p gaming system. I don't really have a need for a gaming PC immediately, but it's nice to have something small form factor. Let's say we're doing Stack Attack in the future. It's kind of cool to have something like this just ready to go at a moment's notice. And I'm also a huge small form factor enthusiast, if you guys didn't already know that. So this sort of thing really gets me going. Let's first talk about the specs that we're rocking here so we can kind of see where we're coming from. First off, we've got the Core i5-3570K. That's an Ivy Bridge quad-core processor. That is the original processor that I used when building this system back in the day. It's currently clocked at 4.3 gigahertz at 1.21 volts, and that's with the help of an AsRock Z77E-ITX motherboard. It's got built-in Wi-Fi, which is great, plenty of USB 3 on the back for an older generation board, and that's going to be paired with an 8GB kit of AMD Radeon DDR3 at 2400 speed. It's actually pretty fast for a kit of its time, but 8 gigs is also kind of pushing it if you're going to be playing modern AAA titles, and especially if you're going to be multitasking alongside that. So we are going to be upgrading that memory kit to this 16GB kit of Vengeance LP non-X. This is DDR3. This is before the X came around, just a standard low profile. It's still got the green PCBs and all that. Now we are taking a slight speed hit here, going from 2400 to 1866. However, I'm okay with that because it's not going to affect our gaming performance much compared to what we might incur if we had too little RAM in our gaming system. So very excited to be swapping that out today. Oh, I completely overlooked the CPU cooler that we're using. It's actually a Samuel 17 from Prolimatech. I don't think they make it anymore. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's a fantastic low-profile cooler. I actually swapped out the stock fan for a Gelid 120, which are super quiet and very economical fans. That's been doing a great job, and we'll be comparing thermals a bit after we rebuild the system with all the upgraded parts. I'm keeping the cooler though, because it's just a fantastic cooler. It looks awesome as well. Now the original graphics card was the EVGA GTX 650 Ti Boost, which I later made a slight upgrade to with a Gigabyte GTX 750 Ti, and then 2 years ago I swapped that out yet again for a Sapphire Compact R9 285, which is what's in here today. But that's also starting to show its signs of age, especially if we're going to try to do some 1080p gaming at max settings and things like that. So we're going to be swapping that out as well for an EVGA Superclock GTX 1060 6GB model. And this is going to be a fantastic card because it is, for one, sort of a small form factor card. It's mini, it's less than 8 inches long on the PCB. Additionally, it only needs a single 6-pin power connector, and it should theoretically have a bit more overclocking headroom as well, even though it is already factory overclocked. Now, I could have gone with the GTX 1070 or something a little bit more higher end because, believe it or not, if you overclock that 3570K, it is still a very capable gaming CPU, and it could definitely handle a GTX 1070, but we still have the original 450 watt SFX power supply from Silverstone. This is one of the more premium ones at the time. It has modular cables and it's 80+ gold, but at 450 watts, I didn't want to push it. I definitely want to overclock. I mean, obviously we're already overclocking the CPU, and if we're overclocking the GPU too, I didn't want to push it with a GTX 1070. My phone's going off. Son of a... I don't know who this is. But anyways, the point is that I think this is going to make a fantastic upgrade for the system at hand. And again, I appreciate just how small it is. It's going to fit right into our SG05 from Silverstone here. Now finally for storage, I've been booting off of a 256 gig Plextor M5 Pro, which is just a standard 2.5-inch SATA drive, and that's been paired with a 480 gig Crucial M-SATA drive because this board actually, the motherboard actually has an M-SATA slot on it that's been used for all of our games. We didn't really need much storage because it was just a living room PC, but now that we're going full-blown gaming system, we're actually going to take out the Plextor drive and boot off of the Crucial instead, and then place a 1 terabyte WD Black inside of this thing just for all of our games, because we are going to need a bit more storage now if this is a dedicated gaming rig. So that should be super fun. Hopefully we can boot off of that M-SATA drive no problem. I don't think it'll give us any issues. We'll see. So that's pretty much it. Oh, and then there's an LG Blu-ray reader-writer that I never use. Right here, it's a slim optical drive. On that note, I think I've pretty much covered everything for the system and where we're headed with the upgrades. I think at this point we can just start taking this apart. I'm actually going to disassemble the entire thing so we can do a proper cleaning, because it is dusty as hell. Once we've done that, we can go ahead and start putting it back together with the existing parts that we're reusing and all of our upgraded hardware. So should be pretty cool. Let's go ahead and get started on that. Yeah. Alright guys, so here it is. Honestly, I gotta say, she looks pretty good. I spent a lot of time with cable management and just dusting the individual parts this time around, so she looks brand new practically. And I think even more impressive than that is the sort of performance gains that we're seeing from swapping out that R9 285 with this GTX 1060 6GB model. We actually ran Unigine Heaven 4.0. With the old system, we were getting a score of 870 and an average frame rate of 34 FPS. With this new graphics card, we actually saw an uplift of over 90%. So we actually got a score of 1670 and an average frame rate of 66. Even crazier though is that we actually dropped temps on our 3570K by simply cleaning out the CPU cooler and reapplying some thermal interface material. We actually went from 73 degrees Celsius max on the package down to 66C. So a 7-degree difference simply by reapplying thermal paste and cleaning the cooler. So make sure you guys are doing regular cleans on your systems, guys. It really does make a difference. And then additionally, I did run 3D Mark Firestrike, not extreme, just regular Firestrike, and got a point difference from the old system. I think we went from 7,100 on the overall score to 10,400. The graphics score initially was 8,400, and that went soaring to 13,400 points. Once we slotted in the GTX 1060 here. So overall, some really impressive gains. I'm super happy with how this turned out. If you guys have any ideas on what you'd like me to do with this rig for another content piece down the line, let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, Toss me a like on the video if you enjoyed it, and feel free to subscribe to Bitwit for more tech stuff coming at you really soon. Also, check out Bitwit Ultra on FLOATPLANE. That's a thing that I can now say because it's a thing. So if you guys want early access, a week early without ads, and a bunch of other features coming soon, feel free to check out the link in the description below. Otherwise, have a good one, guys. I love y'all so much, and I'll see ya in the next video. I poked my arm on the Wi-Fi adapter. It's hurt. Ow.